They are 2 wide, now they are 3 wide, coming into turn number 3.
It is the closest finish in the rich and storied history of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
They may go 4 wide to the start-finish line. Here comes the move, Dempsey to the outside. Who wins it? Peter Dempsey has won the Firestone Freedom 100.
And 1 year later, another classic finish.
They come to the yard of bricks. To the high side goes Gabby Chavez. A photo finish. Chavez wins it. Gabby Chavez with a move to the high side. Barely nipped Matthew Brabham. Another incredible photo finish here at the Freedom 100.
Can lightning strike a third time? Right here at Indianapolis 2 weeks ago on the road course, Ed Jones overcame hardship to regain the championship lead, all while Spencer Pigot's recent good fortune seemingly ran out. Meanwhile, Jack Harvey's win in race 1 launched him past Pigot in the points as well. The epic roller coaster ride that has been the 2015 Indy Lights Championship presented by Cooper Tires continues. Stay tuned for the Freedom 100 from the legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway next. The final warm-up for IndyCar 2 days ahead of the most famous race in the world is complete. And for Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires, it's the most important race of their season. And for most of these drivers, the biggest race of their career to date. Welcome back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the world's greatest race course for the Freedom 100. Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires. I'm Kevin Lee, along with former Indy Lights driver Anders Krohn. Well, this is always an entertaining, exciting race. It's also the first oval for the year, and it is, in many cases, the first oval for some of these drivers. How do you prepare to drive at almost 200 miles an hour when you haven't done it before?
Well, there's really only one way to do it, and that is by actually doing it. So there's a lot of inexperienced drivers that haven't done this race before, only 3 returning drivers. So that could be a huge factor in this race.
A surprise pole winner for this race. Let's go down and meet him on the grid with Katie Hargan.
Yeah, Kevin, before this race, Ethan Ringel had never started better than 10th. We're kind of chasing him in driver intros here. But today he starts on the pole for the first time, and he continued the tradition this Indy Lights season of breaking a track record with a lap of 197 miles an hour. Ethan, I was standing there with your dad when you laid down those 2 very fast laps. He got very choked up. At what point did you realize you had just gotten the pole for the Freedom 100?
Right after I crossed the start-finish line. I had my engineer right in my ear just telling me I qualified pole, and I was faster than Jack, and honestly I didn't really believe it myself. So I'm absolutely excited for this race. This is probably the biggest moment of my life so far. So I hope it's going to be a good race, and I'm looking forward to it.
Watching you in practice and then yesterday in qualifying, it seems like these ovals have come a lot easier to you than the road courses. What's the difference in your style on road courses versus an oval?
Well, right now on the ovals, I got really comfortable with myself pretty quickly. On the road courses, I'm kind of behind the car at the moment, and it's kind of where I got to jump right now, is just to be ahead of the car when I'm driving. So it's going to come with time in the car and experience, but ovals, it just came naturally, honestly. So, again, I'm just absolutely staggered that I'm here.
All right, Kevin and Anders, Schmidt-Peterson has 7 wins here at the Freedom 100 today. Ethan will try to make it 8. Ethan, good luck.
Thank you very much.
And they have 4 of the top 5 starters in this race, and Ethan Ringel has never started better than 10th in his rookie season. His best finish is 7th. So here's how the championship starts off, and the top contenders, only one of them is starting in the top 7. That's Jack Harvey, who is chasing Ed Jones. Spencer Pigot has had his struggles here this month in Indianapolis, both on the road course and so far on the oval. And Formula 1 driver Max Chilton is still in the mix as well. Much to be decided, and after this, we hit the halfway point of the Indy Lights season. Well, we talked about some without much oval experience. They include the championship leader Ed Jones and his Carlin Racing teammate Max Chilton.
It was daunting, but when you actually finally get a lap flat out without lifting, it's a real buzz, and I really enjoy it.
I never realised how difficult it was. until I did the test at Homestead. That was my first experience of it, and it was definitely an eye-opening experience.
Well, usually if you're kind of going into a high-speed flat-out corner, you know realistically there's a gravel trap and maybe a soft barrier. With this, you can just see it in the top right of your vision, this massive wall, and you know it's not going to be very forgiving. And even if you do have a snap of oversteer, which I had a couple, you can't have a very big one, otherwise you're right up at the top of the banking where there's less grip, and you'll be in the wall before you know it.
I knew it was going to be really fast, but the speed going around just feels ridiculous.
But the cornering speeds was probably 170, 180, which I'm used to in Formula One, but it's something about, I think because the cars have a lot less downforce, it happened very quickly.
It's the first time I've been like, yeah, this is a bit fast.
This is a bit fast. They were touching almost 200 miles an hour in practice yesterday, just shy of 200. Great crowd here today, a party atmosphere for Carb Day, and now center stage for the Indy Lights cars. There's the pole sitter, Ethan Ringel, getting set to grid as well. Well, Anders, this is obviously the biggest race of the season, but in a development series, points in the championship are so important. You need that scholarship money. How do you balance that when you're going into a race like this?
Well, points matter, but I certainly know when I was doing this race in the Indy Lights in the Freedom 100, I didn't care about the points. This is the Speedway. It's the Freedom 100. This is what's going to put me on the map to potentially be an Indy 500 race winner. So I don't care about points today. I only care about this one race.
You've watched a lot of practice. How are these new cars this year? Mazda at the Speedway for the first time. How are they going to race?
Well, one word, they are fast. Super, super fast. And so far, they've raced so well, so tight. Everything is looking good so far, so I can't wait to get this race started.
The slowest qualifying speed was about 4 miles an hour faster than the previous track record, and they obliterated that track record with what we saw in qualifying. Should be fantastic. Stay tuned. Not far away from getting the Freedom 100 underway at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're nearly ready for the Indy Lights Freedom 100. Let's go trackside for opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pastor John Cernero, Senior Pastor of Radiant Christian Life, for today's invocation.
Let's pray together. Gracious Father, we thank you for the gift of this beautiful day and this special occasion. We thank you for the freedom that we enjoy in this great nation of ours, and for the men and the women who serve in our military and law enforcement to protect that freedom. We pray that you will protect and watch over all the drivers, the crew members, the staff, and the spectators today, and may we have a very enjoyable,
so we can do one segment
and safe race. I pray your blessing on everyone here, and God bless the United States of America. I pray these things in Christ's name. Amen.
The Freedom 100 about to roll off on this Coors Light Carb Day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Just press the record button when you want. It's just record button when you want. Check. Oh, thank you.
Great to hear Bob Jenkins on the public address here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as we continue through opening ceremonies for the Freedom 100 Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires. 12 drivers ready to make a name for themselves. They are climbing in as we speak, and we await our national anthem. Still to come, the pit stop competition after we're done today, and that doesn't even get us even close to finish with our day in motorsports. Let's go back downstairs.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Drivers climbing in, fans are ready. It's a party at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We've had the final IndyCar practice, and this in some ways has become the main event. The racing has always been fantastic. In store for another one. Let's go back downstairs, and Katie Hargett, trackside.
Kevin, I'm here with John Doonan, the Director of Motorsports for Mazda. And John, this is the very first race powered by Mazda here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What does it mean to you to be involved in such a great place like this?
Well, it's a special day, Katie. I said back in December when we announced our renewed and expanded partnership with the Mazda Road to Indy that it was personally and professionally meaningful. I've been coming here since I was 7 years old. This place is synonymous with technological advancements in the auto industry. And for Mazda, our brand, it's about driving. And Mazda loves to build cars that people love to drive. And for these young drivers here in the Freedom 100, they're going to drive cars that are fun to drive today. We're going to see some great racing.
And Kevin, Mazda powers drivers all through the Mazda Road to Indy. And Indy Lights specifically, they sponsor Spencer Pigot.
Thank you, Katie. For the first time, Mazda engines competing on the oval at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And boy, have they been fast, Anders.
Yeah, they've been unbelievable. 197 miles an hour, shattering the previous Indy Lights track record, producing 450 horsepower. It's by far the best power plant that's ever been in an Indy Lights car, and it's just amazing the amount of power that it's providing.
And we'll fire them up coming up in just a moment. Stay with us. Ready to go green. 40 laps, 100 miles. Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires on NBCSN. The biggest weekend in motorsports continues here on NBCSN. NASCAR America's Motorsports Special coming up later today. Reports from Charlotte, Monaco, and again here from Indianapolis. We're here until 5:30 today, and up next, it's the biggest race of the year for Indy Lights, the Freedom 100. Anders, what are these drivers thinking about, in some cases, strapping in for their first oval?
Well, this is the biggest amount of pressure they'll have all year long. I was talking to a few of the drivers this morning, and you could tell the tension. You could tell the pressure that's on their shoulders right now. So many of these guys have not driven this race before, and that's weighing on their shoulders so heavily right now. So it'll be interesting to see how they start filing out in the beginning of the race.
Even some that have done ovals in Pro Mazda, much shorter ovals. This is the big time. About ready to fire them up. Let's go downstairs for the command. That was Marine Staff Sergeant Liam Dwyer giving the commands. Some mic issues on the grid. The Mazda engines are fired, by the way, for Staff Sergeant Dwyer. This is the 4th anniversary of his Alive Day. During his second tour of combat duty, he was gravely injured after stepping on an IED. That was May 22nd, 2011 in Afghanistan, despite losing his left leg above the knee. He's now a Mazda-backed race driver and a race winner. Lime Rock was one of the places he won in the IMSA Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge Series. Also Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Are in cars. There's Shelby Blackstock. And we saw Sean Rahal, who's going to start up near the front. Great story again for Sean Rahal, the most recent winner here on the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There's Jack Harvey, one of the Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports drivers, starting up front. He is on the outside of the front row next to Ethan Ringel. Harvey is second in the championship, just 6 behind Ed Jones, who was starting farther back in the 8th position. But Anders, this is a place where you can make up some spots.
Oh, you certainly can. Qualifying is really not as important here as it is on a road course. So we are expecting to see a lot of passing here today and a lot of learning as well, because this car hasn't been on this track before.
Cars have pulled away from the pit lane to begin the parade laps and getting set for 40 laps around this 2.5-mile oval. Here's how they will start. Ethan Ringle's best previous start, 10th, the rookie on the inside of the front row, and Jack Harvey, the championship contender, who tied for the championship and lost on the tiebreaker last year. He's one of 3 that has experience at this track. Sean Rahal, sports cars, stock cars, now back in Formula cars, and now a winner. And Scott Anderson, who raced here last year, also with Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports. R.C. Enerson, another young American in the field. In fact, we are well represented by Americans in this field here today. 5 of the top 6 qualifiers are Americans, including Kyle Kaiser in the outside of row number 3. Row number 4 includes Max Chilton, who spent the last 2 years in Formula One, and his Carlin Racing teammate Ed Jones. They are new to Indy Lights, and they have come on with impressive results. Jones won the first 3 races of the season, but both of these guys doing their first oval ever. Row number 5 is Felix Sorales and Spencer Pigot. Pigot was leading the championship coming into Indianapolis, and Anders, it did not go well for him, and it's not gone great so far here this week.
Yeah, unfortunately, Indianapolis has not been kind to Spencer Pigot this year or last year, for that matter, when he raced Pro Mazda. So he's going to want to end that streak here today by having a strong result at the Freedom 100.
Felix Sorales is driving for Belardi Auto Racing. They have won this race the last 3 years. Juan Piedrahita is his teammate in the 5 car. And then Andretti Autosports, Shelby Blackstock is one of several graduates moving up the Mazda Road to Indy ladder. He's won a race before in Pro Mazda. All right, time to get to the keys to this race. It's time for the ever-popular Anders Insider.
Well, Kevin, the number one thing we need to think about right now is the Dallara IL-15. It's the first super speedway race for this car. We have no idea how it's going to race in a pack, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Secondly, there's only 3 drivers on this grid: Jack Harvey, Juan Piedrahita, and Scott Anderson, who have previously raced on this oval. So might they have an advantage here? We don't quite know. And finally, the Freedom 100 is always drama-filled. Expect to see a lot of moves, 2 wide, maybe even 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide in this race. The racing is going to be insane, and we're about to get started here.
Beautiful day here in Indianapolis, 71 degrees. The track temperature just below 100 degrees. Perfect conditions for going fast here today. So it's warming up a little bit from the last time we checked in. Fantastic, and the weather report for Sunday getting much better. Early in the week, we were hearing 80% chance of rain for the Indy 500. Now it's down to about 10% coming up on Sunday. So this is the appetizer, and it has been as entertaining as you could hope for the last couple of years. Can we do it a 3rd consecutive time? On the backstretch, 6 rows of 2 are lined up. The pace car getting set to peel off. That's Ethan Ringle in the green and black car on the inside. The white, red, and blue car is Jack Harvey. We're getting word that Max Chilton is out of the car. We see in that 4th row only 1 blue Carlin car, so Max Chilton is not going to start this race. There are no pit stops, so if you fall a lap down, your chances of a result have gone away. We'll get more from Katie Hargan in just a moment. Now we watch them come down the main straightaway, looking for the green. Perfectly aligned. Ringle on the inside. He gets the early jump, and we are racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indy Lights. Ethan Ringle has the early jump. Jack Harvey peeking to the outside. They'll go side by side in 1, and Harvey around the outside grabs the lead. Ringle in 2nd position. Kyle Kaiser gets around Sean Rahal for 3rd. Rahal in 4th.
Oh, look at this amazing move for Jack Harvey there around the outside into turn 1. Made that slingshot move and is now pulling away from Ethan Ringle. But look at this, Kyle Kaiser up into 3rd spot. Great start for him.
And that's Scott Anderson taking a look at Sean Rahal. We are on board from Rahal looking back. Good start for Jack Harvey. And Ethan Ringle did a pretty nice job too. He wants to just settle in now and get comfortable. He doesn't have the experience on the ovals. Jack Harvey does in this race last year as Anderson pops out again on the outside. And now Ringel goes to the outside of Harvey for the lead in turn number 1. Can he make it stick? Yes, he can.
Wow, did you see that? Ethan Ringel just squeezing Jack Harvey on the entry to turn 1 there. These guys have to play it nice. We're on lap 2 of 40 here. They can't afford to be fooling around right now. So they've got to slot into a rhythm here where they're not destroying each other's momentum. Right now, Jack Harvey, he's being squeezed all the way down to the bottom of the track there. Whew, we're seeing a lot of action already on lap 2 here.
Well, this is looking like the Indy cars of the last couple of years. Passes at the end of every straightaway, and like Ryan Hunter-Ray last year in the 500, Jack Harvey about went down to the grass in turn number 3, and he's back in front as they come towards the line, but Ringel has the run once again.
Look at this. We're seeing pass and repass for the lead twice a lap here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this happening all the way through the race. But look at what's happening right now. These two guys are fighting up front. Kyle Kaiser is closing in as, Spencer Pigot with a massive moment there.
And he hung on to it. It looked like he was on the way to the wall, Anders.
That is a monumental moment for Spencer Pigot. Wow, what a save that was. So he's clearly got his hands full already in this race.
Well, we'll keep an eye on this fantastic racing. But let's find out what's going on with Max Chilton and check in with Katie Hargan.
Kevin, the word from Carlin Racing is that Max Chilton simply has technical issues that won't allow him to start the biggest Indy Lights race of the season. He'll watch this battle from up for the lead from pit lane.
Now Harvey will take a look again on Ethan Ringel. Just in the early stages, lap 4 of 40. And massive action so far. It's Ringel, Harvey, Kaiser, Rahal, Anderson, 1 through 5. Then Enerson, Jones, Sorales, Pigot, Piedrahita, and Blackstock.
Yeah, but let's talk about Ethan Ringel here. Oh, look at this moment for Spencer Pigot. Oh, the feeling of that when you're in the car is just horrible. You feel like you're heading for the wall as Felix Sorales actually tagged the wall there. Unbelievable. I think that it might actually have been Juan Piedrahita. But the feeling in the car is just horrendous when the car snaps on you like that.
And Scott Anderson, we saw there the tail end just getting around Sean Rahal. That's for 4th position. This is the leader, Ethan Ringel.
And I wonder if the handling of the cars has changed or if the track has changed since qualifying. Look at this side-by-side. Sean Rahal looking around the outside. R.C. Enerson making that high line work. There's a lot of drivers who have had a lot of success in the Freedom 100 that have perfected that high line. And right now, R.C. Enerson's doing a good job with that. He's using every inch of room on the track there as he's learning. This is his very first super speedway race, as is the case with Sean Rahal here. So this is the early stages of the race, and they have to just learn. And look at this. Scott Anderson now diving to the inside of Kyle Kaiser.
So not only back and forth up front throughout the field as well. Ethan Ringel, the pole sitter, maintains the lead, but Jack Harvey has been mixing it up with him so far. And now Enerson looks to the inside. There's no room there, so he'll peek to the outside. He's got a run on Kaiser, side by side through turn number 1. And he'll hang on to it. Hold your breath moments here.
He made that outside move stick, and I think it just allows him to carry a bit more momentum. It allows the car to keep spooled up with more RPM through the center of the corner. And as you can see, he's already got a 5, 6, 7 car length advantage here. So that was a great move for him, and clearly he's the only one right now making that high line work.
And Jones is going to work now. The championship leader in the blue car on the black and orange car of Sean Rahal. Rahal will hold him off for the moment. Well, this one is one we're going to need to buckle in for. Jack Harvey right behind Ethan Ringel. Back and forth here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indy Lights.
They may go 4 wide to the start-finish line. Here comes the move. Dempsey to the outside. Who wins it? Peter Dempsey has won the Firestone Freedom 100.
Matthew Brabham trying to hold off. 1 more corner to go. Gabby Chavez has a run. He lost by 6 inches last year. Chavez to the outside. Side by side at the line. It is Gabby Chavez wins the Freedom 100 in Indianapolis by about a foot. 2 years in a row here.
Gabby Chavez, what a well-timed draft. That is just spectacular.
And last year's champion of Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires, Gabby Chavez, joins us in the booth. He's now a full-fledged IndyCar driver, one of 2 rookies in the Indianapolis 500. While we were away, Ethan Ringel leads now, but Jack Harvey did take the lead and got credit for it. We've had 4 official lead changes, but about 12 or 13 in between laps. Gabby, what are you thinking here? You've been in the middle of this for the last couple of years, but this is even more frantic in the early stages than we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every time I did this race, all I did was for 35 laps try out different things that would set up the last 5 laps. All I was doing is just playing the strategy, seeing where I wanted to be on those last five laps so I could make a move for the win.
And what are you seeing now with the new car here? Is it any different in the way that it races, or does it look similar to you compared to the old car?
Well, I'm seeing guys make moves on the inside, outside. You know, it looks like the Highline's working a lot for some overtakes without losing that momentum. So, you know, it seems like the racing is going to be pretty similar. So far, we've had a lot of action, which is great. I was told earlier by one of my old mechanics that the cars draft really, really well, even more so than the old Indy Lights car. So I'm expecting to see a photo finish once again.
And you've been in the shoes of Ethan Ringel here as a rookie on the Speedway leading the race. What's the emotion going through his head right now as he's leading this field and the biggest race of the year?
I think right now he's just trying to feel out his car, feel how the car feels in traffic as well. If I were him, I think he's doing a great job. He's staying out up front, trying to get himself into a position to be in the challenge for the win at the end of the race. That's all you can ask for, is just put yourself in a position to win.
And it is Jack Harvey. Does he have an advantage here? Is he just hanging back at this point trying to learn the lines, or do you think he's legitimately flat out at this point?
I think Jack right now is just feeling out his car, seeing where he can get a run, and just trying to be in the position he wants to be at the finish.
Well, you know, it's really interesting to see here. Look at this. Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they are pulling away from the field now. 5 seconds clear of Kyle Kaiser in P5, so clearly the Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports cars has something figured out, and I'm sure that's something you experienced when you were racing, that they are an incredibly strong team.
Absolutely, they are. They have so much experience here, not only with their Indy Lights program, but with their IndyCar program, and they've always had great and really fast oval cars, and I mean, we're certainly seeing that here today.
Now the front 4 have pulled away a little bit. That's Ethan Ringel in the front in the green and black car. The red, white, and blue car is Jack Harvey. Third in line is Scott Anderson. He's in the blue car, and fourth is R.C. Enerson, and there he comes into view in the number 7 red and black Lucas Oil car.
And that Lucas Oil car has won many a Freedom 100 through the years with drivers such as Wade Cunningham, Alex Lloyd, and so on forth. So a lot of great drivers have been in that car. But right now, look at Ethan Ringel. I mean, I'm so impressed with this young gentleman. He's never done a super speedway before. Came into the season, kind of had a bit of a rocky start, but now he's really, really finding his feet here on the ovals.
He said after he won the pole yesterday, I just need to relax as much as I can, take things as I come. He did admit that he was shocked to win the pole. He was hoping to qualify mid-pack or so. Scott Anderson in the 3rd position, and this shows what experience does. He just finished 10th in this race last year, but only 1 of 3 as we watch him in the blue 77 car with Anderson Podiatry Center sponsorship. He ran every lap last year, and that means a ton.
It really does, but also what he has this year that he didn't last year is last year he didn't have a teammate. He was with Fanforce United, didn't have anyone to compare data to. Right now, he's with the guys that are in 1st, 2nd, and 4th as well, so he's got so much data to pull from. And but let's go down now and have a chat with Katie to see what she's got.
Scott Anderson's best finish this season was 5th at Barber. He currently runs 3rd. And a guy that's in his ear every race, Derek Daly, as his manager and driver coach. Derek, what was the word to Scott Anderson this morning?
The word is patience and discipline, because of the Speedway. It's such a big platform. There's so much pressure for these young drivers, and the speeds are so high. And so patience, discipline, let it unfold. And he's doing a really good job. He listened. He's doing a good job right now.
He ran every lap of this race last season, and now you see him out running 3rd with the leaders of this race. How much have you seen him improve this season?
The biggest advantage for Scott this season is he joined a 4-car team with Schmidt. So now he has access to everybody's data. Jack Harvey's his teammate. He's as good as you'll get. And Scott can ask him questions, look at his data. If he's confused, he's got lots of people to turn to. So that's the biggest improvement for him this year. And his learning curve has gone up because of that. So good for him.
And Kevin, the word on Scott Anderson's radio just a few minutes ago was to follow Jack Harvey's line.
We're turning laps at well over 192 miles an hour, which is faster than what the previous track record for the pole speed was. Ethan Ringel continues to lead, but what I'm wondering now is Jack Harvey content to run in second, or can he just not get around him?
Well, I think the only reason why he's sitting in second right now is the fact that we're on lap 18 of 40. He did this race last year. He knows that you're not going to win this race halfway through. You're going to win it on the final couple of laps. So I think he's playing it really, really smart here, just learning where Ethan Ringel is strong and where he's weak and where he's going to pounce when he inevitably wants to make that move.
He finished 5th in this race last year, and that was only 0.6 of a second behind the winner, Gabby Chavez, who is joining us here in the booth. We'll talk about his Indianapolis 500 opportunity as we continue to watch Ethan Ringel and Jack Harvey go at it on Carb Day from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's Carb Day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on NBCSN. We've had the final IndyCar practice still to come, the IndyCar pit stop competition, and so much more. And stay with us all day long, because coming up at 3:30, the NASCAR America Motorsport Special with reports here from Indianapolis. Marty Snyder and Townsend Bell will be anchoring that. Reports from Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600 NASCAR race, and Lee Diffie and the F1 gang in Monaco as well. Felix Sorrells was trying to help give Belardi a 4th consecutive win in this race. Not going to happen for him today.
No, unfortunately not. They were so strong in practice running in traffic. They looked like the odds-on favorite to win this yet again. But something happened in qualifying, and they qualified towards the back, and now obviously Felix is out of the race, and Peter Hita is running in 8th right now, quite a ways back. So it's a shame for Belardi Auto Racing. They've always been a factor here at Indy.
Still trying to figure out what the issue is, and the team is reporting that we don't know what the problem is for Felix Sorrells. The engine just simply shut down, and he's been fast in the oval so far. Testing at Chicagoland, he was fastest by over 1 mile an hour, 2nd fastest in the Monday test overall here, and then yesterday he ran 199.3 miles an hour, but he will not come close to victory lane today. Back on board with Sean Rahal, who's now running in the 6th position. Kyle Kaiser has gotten ahead of him, but here we go once again as Rahal takes a look around Kaiser. Won't get him here. Gabby Chavez, last year's winner, is joining us in the booth. Let's go on board with Rahal. Gabby, take us around.
Yeah, we're seeing here Sean's, he's having a difficult time trying to follow Kyle around really close. As you see here, we've got Ed going on the outside. He's working that high line. What I'm starting to see is times are starting to be a little bit slower. You're seeing some guys starting to spread out a little bit. I'm wondering if the tires are not holding up as well as the teams thought, and maybe the guys running a little bit more conservatively on the downforce are just having a better time as we see Jack Harvey take over the lead here.
So back and forth it continues up front. It's Jack Harvey's turn now. We're past the midpoint of this race. No pit stops. You need to make your tires last. Harvey gets back in front of Ethan Ringel. If he holds it, this will be our 5th lead change. Official.
And it's very interesting to see just how much movement there is in the cars here this year. Last year they looked a lot more stuck to the ground, but this year it looks like they're almost floating on top of the surface here. As we saw with Ed Jones there go around the outside of Sean Rahal, there's a lot of movement in the cars, and the same with Kyle Kaiser. So I don't know if that's the teams who have opted for a slightly more free strategy on the car setup, but they are certainly looking a lot more free and like they're moving around a lot more than in previous years.
Back down to pit road at Katie.
Ethan Ringel came over the radio just now and said he doesn't have the pace to lead anymore, so his teammate Jack Harvey takes over the lead. Meanwhile, the word on the radio to him is, Jack, just be patient. Only lap 26 of 40.
Ethan Ringel is just 20 years old, driving for Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports with Curb Agajanian, originally from New York, now living in Orlando. And getting a taste of racing in the big time here today. By far the best results he's had, or the most he's been able to contend in a race so far this season. His best finish in 7th position. He may not think he has the pace, but he's got a draft right now. We'll go around the outside of Jack Harvey.
And it's so nice to see the way they're working together right now. They're not blocking each other. They're not trying to hold each other up. They're trying to pull each other forward. And that's going to be vital come the end of the race here. Because what these two guys want, they want this to be a 2-horse race, not a 4-horse race. So they're going to be working with each other to try and pull away. And that's why I think you didn't see Jack trying to block Ethan there on the entry to turn 1. So right now, Jack might be trying to gain some momentum back here to get him back on the front straight. And that way they can actually start pulling away, and R.C. Enerson will thereby lose the draft.
Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports runs 1, 2, 3, 4, and now R.C. Enerson in that red and black number 7 car has gotten around Anderson for that 3rd position. Enerson, another American teenager from Newport Richey, Florida, and this is his first season in Indy Lights. He made the jump. If you're a baseball fan, it's the equivalent of Class A. That's what USF 2000 is. He skipped Pro Mazda in AA. Now he's in AAA, a step away from the big leagues.
Well, he's really showing just how well the Mazda Road to Indy prepares you for the big time. And R.C. Enerson really used his time well. 3 years in USF 2000, and last year he got so close to winning that championship. But clearly it prepared him so well, along with the whole support apparatus he has around him. And Gabby, you raced in Pro Mazda, as we see Ed Jones trying to go around the outside now of Sean Rahal. They're on the short chute, about to turn in here to turn 4. Let's see, can he get the job done? That's a great job for Ed Jones there. And for someone who hasn't done an oval before, going around the outside of someone at near 200 miles an hour is very, very unnerving. And Sean Rahal now going to try and pay back the favor here. Wow, amazing racing.
For 6th position right there, Sean Rahal has it again for the moment. At the end of every straightaway, there's an opportunity. So, Gabby, we're going to get into what you're going to deal with in the Indianapolis 500 on Sunday. Obviously, you've got to do some strategy and pick your moment to try to grab the lead at the end.
Absolutely. That's the name of the game here. You got to be so patient for so many laps. And really, the race only starts until about 15, 20 to go. You know, just talking with some of the other drivers, they're saying, you know, you'll be surprised how nice everyone is the first 3/4 of the race, and then how angry and mean everyone gets with 20 to go. So I'm sure we'll see a lot of that. And as well here, you see the two teammates up front here working together, but it's not going to be the case on those last few laps.
Felix Sorales climbing out. His day is done. You lost 2 years ago in that 4-wide finish by, what, about a foot? How much did that experience help you to get it done last year? Win by a good 2 or 3 feet.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think just having the 1 year of experience around this place, you know how to deal with the traffic better. You know how to deal with each scenario, and that just does so much. It helps you so much when it comes to crunch time.
And Gabby, what is the importance of winning this race? What did this race do for your career now that you're in the Verizon IndyCar Series?
I mean, if we're talking points-wise, with this race, we're able to clinch the championship later on. But apart from the championship itself, this is the one-off race. You know, if any of these drivers here had to say, all right, you're only going to win one race in the championship, which would it be? 100% of them would say the Freedom 100.
Gabby Chavez is joining us in the booth. By the way, he's 26 thousandths of a second away from being a 2-time Freedom 100 winner. But now he's an IndyCar driver, and he'll drive in his first 500 on Sunday. Stay with us. We're more than 3/4 of the way into the Freedom 100. The Freedom 100 is flying by. Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires with Anders Krohn, Gabby Chavez, and Katie Hargett. I'm Kevin Lee. Jack Harvey is back in the lead. Ethan Ringel trailing him. And let's take a look at how he got there, maybe with some help of lap traffic. They're going around Spencer Piggott.
Yeah, that was an ideal draft there for Jack. He took advantage of Spencer's draft there, and then he took Ethan, so he got the best of both worlds, and he slingshotted his way to the lead there. And now with only 6 laps to go, I'm wondering if he can hold this off. And luckily, he's being helped here by Shelby Blackstock, who's about to get lapped. So he's getting his draft and giving him an opportunity to pull away from Ethan Ringel.
Shelby Blackstock running in the 9th position. Harvey will get set to go around him. Back to pit road, and Katie.
Kevin Bellardi Auto Racing won the last 2 Freedom 100s, and now Felix Sorales, one of their drivers this year, sits on the sidelines. Felix, what happened?
I'm not too sure. The car just lost power when I was coming out of turn 4, so it's just pretty unlucky. I don't think we really had the pace to keep up, or maybe it's just an issue with the engine, but we're not sure what happened exactly. There's a few sensors that are going crazy, so we just had to stop.
Thanks, Felix. Kevin?
So Sorales out. his teammate, Juan Piedrahita, running in the 8th position. He's the last car on the lead lap. And there we've got another look. R.C. Enerson with Scott Anderson going to the low side of the blue car, getting that 3rd spot.
Look at that move for Scott Anderson right there, taking again a double draft. As we see, both these guys have dropped back a little bit now. Only Jack Harvey and Ethan Ringel able to keep up that leading pace there. But it'll be interesting to see now, can Scott Anderson reel these two in as they start fighting for the lead here? Only 4 laps to go right now. So I bet we're going to see a lot of intense racing here in the closing laps.
Scott Anderson running in the 3rd position, having a fantastic day here today. R.C. Enerson right behind him in 4th position. And not only do you want the result, but these young drivers, this is development series too, they're learning so much today.
Yeah, they're learning a ton, and this is directly applicable to the Indy 500, and I'm sure all the racing that you did, Gabby, is going to help you tremendously in the upcoming 500. And you know, just looking at this right now, do you think Jack has the pace, or do you think Ethan's going to be able to claw that back?
I'm seeing Ethan with the stronger car right now at the moment. Oh, we got a wreck.
And it's Ed Jones. Ed Jones, the championship leader, into the wall in his first oval race.
That is always a hard impact right there. Exited turn 4, never easy hitting on an oval here. We still have not seen the cause of that incident, but wouldn't be surprised if he was fighting closely with someone there.
So now the question is, it would take them red flagging this race, or else we are going to be denied another photo finish, because they will not get this cleaned up here in the final 3 laps.
And it's great to see that he is moving around in the car. He looks to be okay, but this could be Jack Harvey's saving grace. Oh, he just loses it by himself. It almost looked like he had a puncture there. Look at that right rear there. Yeah, that is down on the cords. That tire is down on the cords, and he had a puncture right there. So he's going into the corner, and he has no chance whatsoever. That car just snaps away from him. Look at that. The right rear tire is already down. He was just a passenger. That is such a shame for our championship leader.
And he was doing, all things considered, a really nice job in his first oval.
He was doing a really, really solid job, just hanging on to it. He didn't have race-winning pace, but he was being really, really smart. He was going to collect some really good points here in the race today to solidify his championship lead.
Katie?
Ed Jones was really looking to rebound after a tough weekend at Indy GP, where he finished 14th in the 2nd race. When I spoke to him yesterday after qualifying, he said that ovals were really difficult. Finite mess-ups can mean big consequences. He said his goal was just to learn how to race in the draft, as we see him climbing out of that car.
And good to see that he's okay walking under his own power, so he'll take a trip to the infield care center for the precautionary checkup. It's time now to award our Cooper Tires Everyday Performer. And Anders, I'm going to go with Ethan Ringel. Whether he wins this race or not, it has been a very impressive performance and a great weekend.
You know what? I fully agree with you. And Ethan has just burst through this weekend. He was kind of nowhere earlier in the season, but this weekend has been his big breakthrough. And I'm wondering if he can carry that momentum onto the next few races. As you can see, Ethan Ringel even, look at that right rear tire. It's all the way down to the cord. So he is lucky right here that this went caution, because look at that, all the way down to the cord. He is a lucky man right now.
And we're going to see the white flag this time by, so this one is going to finish under caution. Lightning will not strike 3 times with another photo finish, but we were certainly entertained in the first 35-plus laps. Jack Harvey is going to be the winner, and this is, Gabby, what we've talked about for the 500. People are talking about timing that last pass. Well, you might want to be out front, because you never know when it's going to go caution in the waning laps.
Absolutely, absolutely. You never know what's going to happen, especially around this place, and we've seen this happen many times before. But taking a look at those tires now, I'm surprised the guys did such a good job holding on to those cars. We're looking at a massive, massive tire wear. So
this is how the points will stand with this result. So Harvey not only will get the win, he will take over the championship lead, with Ed Jones not finishing this race. Spencer Piggott in the back with all kinds of problems. He's a lap down, running in the 9th position.
And right now, I'm sure Jack Harvey is happy that he's going to take over the championship lead. But the biggest thing for him right now is this is going to be the best day of his life. He's en route to win his first race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Super Speedway that is. He already won the road course event, but he is about to engrave himself in history here by winning at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
We will finish under caution. Jack Harvey at pace car speed comes around turn number 4. He can see the flag stand. He said winning here on the road course was the biggest win of his life, but certainly on the oval, it would trump it. Last year, he lost the championship on a tiebreaker. This year, he's won the biggest race of his life. Jack Harvey, the winner in the Freedom 100 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
And a great big shout out to Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports, finishing 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got it figured out at this racetrack, and Jack Harvey takes the big win for them. Winner of the Freedom 100 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It doesn't get much bigger than that.
Gabby, what are you thinking right now? You've won this race no matter what the circumstances. This is the biggest win he's had to this point.
Absolutely. A win is a win, and it, like I've said, like everyone knows in this place, you put yourself in the position to win, and he did just that today. So this will be a huge confidence booster for him in the championship, and right now he will be the guy to beat.
And what a day for several others. Ethan Ringel, best career finish. Same for Scott Anderson. A great run for R.C. Enerson, coming home in 4th position. He was a runner-up in the GP of Indianapolis, the second race a couple of weeks ago, but a great result here on the oval. But the day belongs to Jack Harvey.
Unbelievable performance, and he's been talking about this race the entire year. He won races last year, but he never got a chance to win this race, and this year he does it. And I fully agree with you, Gabby. I think he's going to be so strong for the championship right now. He has the momentum helping him out and everything, so I think he's in a great position.
Gabby, thank you so much for spending time with us. Good luck in the 500 coming up on Sunday.
Thank you, guys.
Gabby Chavez had a good carb day today. He was the 9th fastest. He'll be starting in his first 500 on Sunday. In a moment, we'll hear from the winner. Jack Harvey wins in Indy Lights at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Back at the racing capital of the world, Carb Day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The IndyCar drivers will be back out for the pit stop competition coming up in just a few minutes. Concerts on the way later today and so much more leading up to the 99th 500 on Sunday. The Freedom 100 is complete. Fantastic racing for the first 36 laps. Ed Jones crashes on lap 37. Jack Harvey was in the lead. He went back and forth all race long with Ethan Ringel. Harvey wins the Freedom 100. Scott Anderson with his best career finish in 3rd. R.C. Enerson gets his 5th top 5 in the last 6 races. Anderson, by the way, his best career finish previously was 4th at Milwaukee in 2014. And it's only the 2nd race this year where there were multiple lead changes. Officially there were 7, but we saw probably 20 from turn 1 to turn number 3. Let's hear from the winner. There's Jack Harvey climbing out down to Katie Hargitz.
Jack Harvey writes his name in history as a winner at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and gives Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports their 8th win at the Freedom 100. Jack, the word on the radio all race long was to be patient as you switch leads with your teammate Ethan Ringel. How hard was it to be patient?
Incredibly difficult. I mean, you just want to be out in the front saving tyres, but you know that was the plan all the time. And I saw a car ahead of Ethan, so when I got the slipstream, I overtook him trying to get in that tow, and I changed my line a little bit to try and keep him behind, which seemed like I was doing, and then the caution came out at the end. And I mean, honestly, this is probably the biggest win, like single race win of my career, and probably the greatest track in the world. So I can't explain this feeling.
You lost the championship last year as it came down to a number of seconds. You now lead the points championship. How good does that feel?
Well, last year my best result on oval was 3rd, and now I just won. So hopefully I think that shows that I'm ready for IndyCar, and that's what we're going to work towards. I've got a great team of people behind me in SPM. Fantastic team, great organisation, and hopefully I can just move into their IndyCar program.
There were so many lead changes between you and Ethan. Walk me through what you were thinking as you and Ethan were kind of playing cat and mouse there.
It was definitely cat and mouse. I think Ethan's done a great job this weekend getting the pole in the 2nd. No doubt his career highlight up to now. I wanted to win this race so bad. I said it to everyone yesterday. I said it before the season. I was like, if there was one I want to win, it's the Freedom 100. And we've achieved that. Probably have a few beers tonight now and, just really going to enjoy this race.
And now you're standing here in Victory Lane. Does it even feel real yet?
Oh, I hope so. I'm going to enjoy it like it's real.
All right, and Jack gives Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports their 8th win here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Freedom 100, Kevin.
Jack can enjoy it with an adult beverage. Not all of these young drivers are of age, but Jack is 22 years old. He wins for the 6th time in his year and a half in Indy Lights, and as he said, none bigger than this one.
And the biggest thing that I took away from that interview is he said, hopefully this shows I'm ready for IndyCar. He's been working with Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports to be promoted to that IndyCar seat sooner rather than later. He wanted it to be this year, but not quite yet. But hopefully, again, like he said, this shows.
He's showing he's ready, and he might have $750,000 of Mazda scholarship money to take with him, because now Jack Harvey leads the championship with his 2nd win of the season. Ed Jones drops to 2nd after today's crash. Spencer Pigot still hanging in there in 3rd. And then R.C. Enerson jumps up to 4th position. Max Chilton did not start this race. He drops a spot to 5th. More to come on Indy Lights, and we're going to get back to the IndyCar stars. Stay with us. The party continues. Carb Day from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where Jack Harvey has won in Indy Lights. For the 8th time in 13 years, Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports has won the biggest race of the Indy Lights calendar, the Freedom 100, and today it's Jack Harvey. And notes, the Get Well Soon Hinch with the S changed to a 5. James Hinchcliffe's number in the Verizon IndyCar Series, also driving for Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports. So everyone here in the IndyCar community has their thoughts on Hinch, and so thankful that he's going to be well soon.
Yeah, the amount of consideration and thoughts to James Hinchcliffe has been incredible. Every single one in the IndyCar community has been supportive of him, and it's great to see that he's going to make a full recovery. He was also a huge fixture on the Mazda Road to Indy and has also been a factory driver for Mazda, so I'm sure he's supporting this event right now and all the Mazda-powered cars. So great to see that he will make a full recovery, but obviously right now the main focus is on Jack Harvey, who just did an amazing job today.
He only led 10 laps, but he led the right one, and his teammate had a great day, too. Katie has caught up with the runner-up.
Ethan Ringel started on the pole of the biggest race of the year and ended up finishing 2nd. But, Ethan, you led so many laps here. How thrilling was it to lead laps at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Honestly, there isn't quite a feeling to quite describe the feeling of going out in front of the, leading the field every lap and seeing all the fans every single lap just go by me. But I had a hell of a time out there. It was probably the most fun I've ever had, honestly. Unfortunately, I think I could have won that race if it didn't go yellow. I was kind of, tucking behind Jack for the last 5 laps and was going to wait there until the last lap because I knew I was able to get a draft on him and get him into turn 3. But unfortunately, it went yellow for us, so it was a solid second place. So I really can't be discouraged about that. And this is my first year here, and I finished 2nd in the Freedom 100. I mean, I can't really ask for more. I'll be back next year too. So we'll see how that goes.
You finished 2nd to a veteran, Jack Harvey, who has led many laps last season and this season. How much did you learn from him today?
The key really to, finishing one of these races up there with the top is, being able to kind of find the air around the cars. You have to watch him carefully to see, if he's given a foot of length on the inside of the track, so you got to get that air and put it on your front wing, and you can't, go outside, inside, outside behind another car. So it was fun to watch him drive, and I learned a lot from him. He gave me a lot of tips before the race, so it's all stuff that I'm just going to put in the bank and, hope for the best next year.
It was a team effort for Schmidt this year as they all finished in the top 4. Thanks, Ethan.
Thank you very much.
Ethan Ringel, the runner-up, 1, 2, 3, 4 for Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports with Harvey, Ringel, Scott Anderson, and R.C. Enerson. Now, the crowd's not going to go anywhere because there's much more to come here today in just a few minutes. And stay with us. We roll on NBCSN with the pit stop competition for the Verizon IndyCar stars, including our own Townsend Bell, a competitor this year with Dreyer and Reinbold in Kingdom Racing. And then at 3:30, it's a NASCAR America Motorsports Special with several reports and great features lined up for the 500 here from Indianapolis. And then we'll go to Charlotte as well for a feature and focus on the Coca-Cola 600 in NASCAR and reports from Monaco with Lee Diffie and the crew. And in fact, coming up in just a moment, stay with us, a report from Monaco on Formula One with qualifying coming up tomorrow is on the way. Well, a fantastic Freedom 100, certainly for the first 36 laps, denied a green flag finish, but it does not matter. Jack Harvey, a winner. Stay with us, more to come from Indianapolis.